Hello everyone, this is Guy, and this is a guide for my ScenarioSwitcher script that I created for Roll20. In this video, I will actually be showing you how to create a scenario from scratch, and in this case the scenario affects dynamic lightning paths. So in the end it affects what the players can see in your map, and even if you want to, where they can walk to. Alright, so how do we do this? Let's go into the basic setup. We got a background image. This is a cave, and it was created by Gabriel Picard, and it is available for free at his DeviantArt profile. We also got just a placeholder token that represents the adventure, and it will be used in this tutorial to show you what an adventurer player would actually be seeing once you switch things around. And we have one ScenarioSwitcher command token. To create one yourself, just get any token, put him in the GM layer, and use the ScenarioSwitcher character in the represents field and name it whichever way you want. Just make it recognizable for you later. By the way, about this ScenarioSwitcher character, it is a character that is automatically created when the script is fully installed, when you follow all the install steps for the script. And it actually makes it so that once you click your command token that is linked to that character, you have the macros up here. But we'll go into that later. Right now, you just need to create a token, any token, and connect it to the ScenarioSwitcher character. You see it's here in the journal. You can also put this character in a folder, but please do not erase it or archive it. And you should not modify it unless you really know what you're doing. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, and for those interested, real quick, this is where the macros are located. You go to the character, attributes and abilities, and this is where the macros are located. But okay, I don't want to go too much into detail. Alright, so we have the basic items. We have the background map, placeholder for the adventure, and our command token. Okay, let's look into why the paths are set up the way they are. For this, you will need an idea about how the scenario, how the different combinations of path visibilities will be in your adventure, in your map. You don't need to know exactly how everything will be, because you can just change things later as you go. It's not too complicated, but having a basic idea will avoid some backtracking that might take some time. So yeah, have a basic idea about what's going to happen. And paths with exactly the same color, so like these two guys, you know, this red and this red might look similar, but they're not. Just, you know, I'm using this red, and you see the color code down here. This is what needs to be exactly the same. See, these two are not the same. Yeah, of course, makes sense. So just don't switch them up. Don't mix them up and wonder why only some of the paths are being changed over. But yeah, these two paths have exactly the same color, and this means that the script will change them together as a group. This one has a different color, so it will be switched over without affecting these. And then there is the purple, which is a separate color because it is not meant to be switched at all. I mean, it could be, you can choose the colors whichever way you want to. It just, the only thing that matters is paths that are to be influenced, changed in the same way, should have the same colors. So I planned this the following way. This is actually something that will look like a dead end. But once you execute the command, it will be a path like a hidden path that the adventurers notice, or that they can open, who cares. But the second one is actually meant to be a big drop down, and a big drop down, yeah. So let's say the party is up here, they should be able to look into the cave, but while they're down here they just see like a steep wall, and they might need to climb it, and they might want to climb it, and then they can see what's up there. So yeah, that is the basic idea. That is why I created the paths in the way that I did. Let's now go into setting up the flags and the descriptions and everything that the script needs to work exactly the way that you want it to. So we actually will start with setting up the command token. Right now it's just a ScenarioSwitcher command token that is connected to the right character. Nothing in advanced, nothing down here. It's a pretty simple token. The two things that we need to change are both the bar1 values, the max value and the current value. We need to tell the script that this actually is a scenario switcher for dynamic light paths. So we will write this hashtag VL hashtag into the bar1 current value. And one thing that is important to know is you cannot create a scenario switcher token, command token, that switches both objects and dynamic light paths. You can have two command tokens in the same map, and one switches tokens and one switches dynamic light paths. There should be no conflict between them, but it cannot be just one single command token. Anyway, we are switching dynamic lighting paths, so we put this into the bar1 current value. And the bar1 max value, it is more or less the same structure than for tokens. So I actually have an example in my clipboard, so I paste down. So you see here we have a few different options. Actually just two options in this case. We need descriptions and we need flags. The descriptions are just, they will be presented to the GM while you do the switch, so it's good to have, a good piece of text that actually tells you what is going to happen when you execute that option. So in this case, let me just minimize this. In this case, it would show the hidden passage, which is in red. So if we open the dynamic light layer, you see this one would be affected by this option, and show upper level gray would be affecting this path. And now the flags, they are quite specific. You need to flag it exactly with the color codes of the paths that will be affected. Let's make this a little bit clearer. So remember, the paths, they do not have a lot of options with them. Like if you double click, nothing happens. It's not like a token that gives you a lot of options. But they have a few properties still. They have the fill, which is transparent, and for this script needs to be transparent, by the way. And then you have the border color, which, if you look at the code, you see this is the red that is selected, and hashtag FF and then 4 zeros is the color code. And this is actually what you need to put down here. It already is there because I prepared it in advance, but just put it in as a flag. And this actually is the description, and then there is a comma, then the flag, and the separator, and then again the next description, etc. Be careful not to include any spaces within the color codes, or even before or after. It should be a comma, and then right after it, the color codes, right after it, the separator. No spaces in there. That's important. Okay, so we do this for the red, and we look at the gray. What color is there? Let's see. And it has the color hashtag D9, D9, D9. And we copy this over and put it down here. And that's the piece of information, of text, that our command token needs in the bar1 max value. Actually, that's it. That's all you need to do. The command token now works how it should, and you have a completely functioning scenario switcher for dynamic lightning paths. There's one more thing that you need to consider while you set up your command token. If two command tokens are in different pages, they need to have different bar1 max values. So what's down here? This means that if you have two command tokens in two different pages and they both have exactly the same, so let's say they both have exactly this text up here, the script will actually have problems knowing which page is going to be switched, and will switch the first page that it finds where a command token has this text in bar1 max. But there's a simple workaround. You just add one more option for the switch, but we will create an empty option. It will not do any effects. So let's just go into that. A separator, a description, and this description, my suggestion is just give it the name of the map. Let's call this map just Caves Caves of the Bat. Kind of a bad name, but yeah, it's an example. Caves of the Bat. Okay. And let's add a flag, but instead of a color code, we will just add a hyphen, because the hyphen is the one flag that the script will treat completely differently. It will see the flag is just a hyphen, so I will skip any switching. So it's an empty scenario. So yeah, that's about it. We have a separator, we have description, comma, flag. Okay. And you could put this into this command token. Alright. And now if you create, for some reason, if you want to have a very, very similar or even equal scenario, and your command token should have exactly the same kind of options and color flags, you can just even copy everything over, just change the last option. Change the description to the name of the new map. And that should be it, conflict free. Okay, so that actually should make the command token complete. Let's actually test it. So we can now switch, and we have the different options. We see this is Caves of the Bat option. Let's first of all see it does nothing. Nothing changes at all, and that's how it should be, again because the flag is a hyphen. And let's look into the more interesting stuff. So first of all, the adventurer is here. What does he see? A closed cave. It's a dead end. Okay. And by the way, so he can't see anything, for the complete beginners out there, you need to, under advanced, has sight. That's the minimum requirement for a token to be able to see anything. But that's about it. It's a very simple token. Okay, so this is a dead end. But now, let's switch it. Again, let's look real quick into the dynamic lightning path. These two guys are the ones that will be affected. They're both reds in the exact same color. So you have a good description for it. Show hidden passage. It is this passage, and it will be red. Okay, let's submit it. And, oh, there appears something. Okay. No problem at all. This is how it should work. These two paths are now in the gem layer. See, I'm in the gem layer and I can click them. And if they are in the gem layer, they are not in the dynamic light layer anymore. This means they will not block vision. That's what we want. They will not block movement either. So now the adventurer can actually see, oh, there's something there. Okay, I can walk through. He cannot walk through the other limits. These are the purple paths here. They're limiting things, right? This is not affected, but the red paths are not deactivated. And again, the players do not see this because it's in the GM layer. But it's a good way for you to see, as a GM, something has been deactivated here. Something is made translucent, transparent, which wasn't before. So border. Okay. And actually, if for some reason, let's say this hidden path collapses, just switch it back again. Show hidden passage, red, and yep, the adventurers are now again closed. They cannot go through here. That was once a passage and it's not anymore. Okay, they keep walking, they go up a few steps, and oh, looks like a very steep wall, and they might be able to climb it. They decide to try it. Let's say we do a skill check. And they're actually able to go up. So how do we do this? We now switch. Show upper level, gray. And you see now it's also in the GM layer. And this actually means it is not an active dynamic light path anymore that is blocking vision and movement. So there you go. Players can now look down. And that's it. That's how you set up a scenario. It is a little bit easier than with tokens, I think. But you should be a little bit more careful, I think, in setting up things correctly, just because the potential for spoilers is much bigger. Look at it like this. Let's say at the top of this climb is a huge treasure and you can see it in the map. Players might have to, I don't know, there might be a very strong enemy here, you know, and they might have to decide, do we go up there? We just see from over here it's a steep climb, but is it worth it? What's over there really, or should we go here first? So if this is deactivated, and it shouldn't, it can be a bit of a spoiler. Now, I would suggest, if something is extremely important not to be spoiled, create two paths in different colors. So, you know, we could just go to the right layer, of course, and we add a new path. So it's green, and we start over here. We basically do something that's like the same, about the same. We copy over the, whoops, my bad. Okay, path is complete. Okay, and we copied over the codes. We need to open again the command token, and what is in here? We have down here, right? Okay, my bad. This is the color code. So we have copied over the color codes, and what is in here, we just need to modify it now. So let's do that. We now need to add another option. This is the color code of green. So move it from here. So show upper level gray. And now we can create a new scenario. Let's include a separator first of all. Let's include comma and the flag, which is the exact code of green. And now we can call it show upper level security. And let's add green. So I think it's always helpful to add the color. So when you switch it, you see, okay, yeah, something green appeared or disappeared. It's working how it should. Copy it over. And now we can switch the green path to, see, security, green. Yeah, and now the two paths are disabled. So the adventure indeed can look, you know, when he's up, he can look down. And when he's down, you actually just need to use one of the paths. You know, just get gray limiting the vision. And, you know, green would also be good. So now they're both limiting the vision. He cannot look up, and he can't look up even if you deactivate one of them. You need to be sure. This is like a way to protect yourself of spoilers. But also, as you see, you don't need to plan everything perfectly, because you can just add a new scenario pretty easily. And yes, this is what I wanted to tell you about. Be careful about spoilers. Be careful about the initial setup. Is everything, when they land in a map, when the party lands in a map, is it looking how it should? And you can just, you know, go ahead to the map and take a quick glance about which paths are actually visible. You know, you can do this really quickly, because again, if you make something transparent, it will show immediately to you, as long as you are in any layer except the dynamic light layer. It will be very easy to see what is actually being considered transparent. A page can have switching around many combinations of tokens. It can have switching around many combinations of dynamic lightning layers. You just have to be attentive to create one command token for dynamic lightning layers, paths, and one for all the other tokens that are going to be switched. And they will be in the same page, but there will be no problem. That's it. I hope this script enhances your adventures, and let you have a lot of fun with your games. Have a good day.